Take your front seat. The runway lights are up and the room is buzzing. Welcome to Brand Runway, where fempreneurs, coaches and visionaries transform from hidden gem to high-end influence. I'm Jenny Parker Brown, your front row guide to creating your own unforgettable brand presence. Each episode delivers the exact tools and brand direction to make you shine. From magnetic messaging to client attraction systems that feel as natural and delicious as a designer jacket. Whether I'm sharing backstage insights from my own journey or featuring conversations with brilliant innovators, you'll leave knowing exactly how to showcase your unique brilliance to attract your ideal customers. Because a luxury level brand presence shouldn't be exclusive. It should be accessible to every helping professional ready to step into your spotlight. Ladies, you've come to the right place. It's your time. And the champagne's on me. Okay, the runway lights are up and we are in the spotlight. And I am absolutely super thrilled to be starting a new chapter in Brand Runway to introduce to my audience people with big platforms, notably podcasts. So it is my absolute delight. I've got some curated guests lined up for you, and it is my absolute delight to bring one of the first ones, and I'll tell you why I'm bringing her in a second, into this, because she is a pioneer, an innovator, a landmarker in podcasts right now. Welcome, my beauty, Kay Suthar.
My goodness, I'm super excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me on your show.
So I've read that you're 4'11".
Thank you. Yes, I am.
but it hasn't prevented you from creating a whole podcast empire called Make Your Mark. Can you share with us how that came about?
Yes, so my name is Kay Suthar. I am based in London. I am the CEO and founder of Make Your Mark podcast agency, where we help people specifically with video podcasting. And I'll explain a little bit as to why specifically video podcasting, even though I started this 6 years ago now, 2020. And so the reason why we did video podcasting, first, it was to help with leveraging video as well as audio, and then doing transcripts. And because we help business owners, thought leaders, coaches, book authors, like, we want to make sure that you're able to repurpose and get out what your material is, your value, your experience, your journey in several different ways. And you can only do that if it's a video podcast, right? So we don't ever want to limit ourselves. And the reason why I say do video podcasting, I've been preaching this since 2020. People thought I was absolutely bonkers. And look where we are now. It's all about video podcasting. It's because I was also, I was studying British Sign Language. And I had a community of deaf kids, deaf adults around me at that time, right? Because I really immersed myself in that community. And they were always telling me that they felt excluded from the podcasting world because there was only ever audio. And so that stuck with me. And I'm like, well, podcasting was never, ever created to exclude communities, no matter your background or disabilities or culture, or whatever it is. It's there to include people. And so that the only way it can be inclusive is if it's video podcasting and you have captions, and that way you're not excluding anybody from podcasting.
I'd never thought about that, and what a beautiful reason to do that.
Thank you. Yes, and I've always done that. I'm like, it helps the business owners to get more visibility, right? And it also helps you build a bigger audience, right? Because again, you don't ever want to limit your audience, right? Like, if they are from the deaf community, if they are from a different culture, if they're a different country, whatever it is, it should include everybody in helping you build your own community around your podcast as well.
Exactly. So we were just talking before we came on about, what's working now, because that's always what I'm, as a journalist, from a journalist point of view, what's working now. Knowing that social media is burning or imploding or doing what it has to do. But for the people who are just like tearing their hair out, is saying, well, if social media is not going to be viable anymore because of algorithm temper or whatever, is that video podcasting and editorial placement are two of the biggest streams and channels to get visibility now. They really are the two major channels to get visibility right now. Would you agree?
Absolutely. It's all about videos. It's all about short clips, short videos, not long ones, because people's attention span are so short these days, right? So it's about making those clips, repurposing it on social media. And it's funny because people say that social media is dead and the algorithms aren't working and this, that, the other. But I really think that it's not dead, but it's that the fact that the quality of content you're putting out isn't really reaching your audience. And when I say reaching, is not hitting them home to actually engage with your content, right? Like we need to go really deep and start talking about things that most people aren't, rather than just kind of surface level content. That's what people want to hear. They want to hear real and raw stuff. And so the minute you put that type of content out, whether it's in writing, whether it's in video, right? Because for magazines, it will be in writing. Like if you've got the right content going out there and it is really hitting home for your audience, they will engage no matter what platform it is.
So I've been telling my clients that they must have a podcast or a video podcast now. Mm-hmm. People are still considering it, which is amazing. Silly question, but is there room for everybody?
Yes. So this is funny because a lot of people say to me, they're like, oh my God, podcasting is saturated, right? And I say to them, well, books have been around for years and years and years, right? But it doesn't stop business owners writing a book. There's several books being published every single day, but there's already books out there, that's written for every single topic. There isn't a single topic that hasn't been written about, right? So why is that okay for everybody to start launching their books and writing books and publishing books? But when it comes to podcasting, it's saturated. No, it's not. It's the same thing. You have your own voice, you have your own experience, you have your own journey, right? And people will relate to you because of your personality. Others won't. It's the same thing with the book, right? A book has been written about Instagram, for example, maybe thousands of times, but some people will relate to one author rather than the other because of their voice and their personality. It's the same thing with podcasting.
So for somebody because I know I'm surrounded by beautiful change maker coaches who want to get their voice out there into the market. What should they be considering now at the beginning of 2026 as a new podcaster?
Okay. First of all, definitely if you're thinking about launching your own podcast, realize that it's a commitment. Okay. There's so many people that think, oh, it's a nice thing to do because everybody's doing it, and then realize that it is a huge commitment. And that's why you only kind of see 3 episodes, 5 episodes, maybe 7 episodes released, and then they give up, right? Like if you're going to do podcasting, like be committed in actually showing up for yourself, recording those episodes, preparing the content, and then putting out the value. That's when you're going to see results coming back. And the other thing is, there's so much information out there about how to launch a podcast, right? It's all over the internet. You don't need to learn or get a course on how to learn to start a podcast. It's all on the internet, right? But what people aren't teaching, and this is where people are getting stuck all the time, is how to monetize a podcast, right? It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of energy, but this is where people are getting stuck and all of a sudden give up. And this is something that we teach, and it's not about just launching, right, a podcast and putting it out there and getting your episodes out there. It's strategically looking at where you can monetize on the long term and in the short term as well, and putting certain things in place. So then you give yourself so much leverage that you can actually monetize a podcast in 17 different ways.
Wow, that's encouraging.
Yeah. Totally doable.
That's very encouraging.
Right. It's totally doable. And I meet so many people and they go to me, oh my goodness, I've got a podcast and I've got 100,000 downloads. And I'm like, fantastic. How much money has that brought you in? And they're like, oh no, that hasn't brought any money in. And I'm like, well, then what's the point? Why are you putting that time and energy into something that's not bringing you any money into your bank account? because at the end of the day, bills still need to be paid.
Indeed. So what do you now, in hindsight, attribute? How do you attribute your own, the growth of your own podcast business since you started?
Oh my goodness. So when I first started, honestly, I had no clue what I was doing, no idea. And I was trying to find my feet and try and audit different sorts of methods to figure out what it is that I want to talk about, but also branding as well. Like I changed branding for my podcast 3 times, right? It's originally it was called Uncensored Society Podcast, right? First of all, don't make your title complicated to the point where people reach out and ask you how to spell it, right? Keep it really, really simple and keep it to 3 words, right? The 3-word formula, like the way it is now, Make Your Mark podcast, okay? You want to make it easy, simple, let it just run off your tongue. That way, whenever you announce it, whenever you talk about it, people will most likely able to remember and able to spell it as well if they want to go and do their research, right? And so when you start a podcast, make it simple for yourself, right? And I would always say, have at least 1 episode being released every single week. I find that you get more conversions by having it done every single week rather than once a month or every other week. And all you really need is a camera, a good audio, right? And when you get using a camera, don't ever use it from your own device. Get an external camera because they're always so much better. A mic, right? Or you can even do it from your iPhone. The cameras and the audio on phones are so awesome at the moment, right? So you can even use that. And then also have a hosting platform, right? And I don't mean something like Spotify, right? I mean a proper hosting platform like Captivate or Buzzsprout. And the reason why I say that is because when you have specific podcast hosting platforms, not only do they distribute it to 20 plus distribution platforms, right? But they also give you analytics as to what is working, what isn't working for each one of your episodes and where it's been listened at. And that's what's going to help you improve in your podcast journey and make better content and making sure you are reaching the right people.
Okay, Jenny P, check. I've got my to-do list. Okay, I got my to-do list. Right. Do you think that, and how do you see now this evolution, as this is your core topic, and you gave us the beautiful argument about people not being able to access, education and entertainment because of the not being able to hear, but how do you see this new evolution of video podcasting?
Okay, so video podcasts are going to end up on Netflix very soon.
Wow.
Right? Like it's getting bigger and bigger. YouTube have their own podcasting division altogether because they know how big that's going to get. Right? So they're already preparing themselves with having a separate podcast division. Netflix has just there is talks of them doing some sort of partnership, right, where they're going to start then distributing podcast episodes on Netflix for people to watch, right? So video podcast is getting bigger and bigger. It's not going anywhere. In fact, there's big companies like YouTube, like Spotify and all of them where they're introducing more and more videos into their platforms one way or another specifically for podcasts. And so there's no way out, guys. If you want to take a shortcut and just do audio because that way you don't have to do your hair and makeup, I'm sorry to tell you, you're going to get left behind, right? You've got to start getting on video. And another little tip I'm going to give you, right? So I did some research, and in fact, do you know Cody Sanchez? Have you heard of? She's a big entrepreneur in the US, and she did some research and she came up with some data, and I was like, oh my goodness, I knew it, but now it's solidified. Ladies, if you're doing a podcast or anything like that, wear a bit of makeup. It doesn't have to be a full-on makeup artistry kind of thing. Wear a bit of makeup because it's proven that female business owners that wear makeup when they show up, they make 30% more income in their business, right? And if they are well groomed, make 15% more income in their business.
Okay, I am going to take these out and make them the biggest show notes that I've ever had. Okay,
yes,
awesome.
So video is the way to go, definitely.
Fantastic. This is good news. Okay, video's the way to go. these platforms, these mega platforms are expanding into video podcasting,
Yeah. So
like
introduce it to
like
their own
don't
platform.
get left behind.
No, absolutely not. Audio is good, but then you can extract the audio from a video anyway, right?
Yes.
And then what you can do is then have the transcripts. AI does this for everybody now, right? It's become so easy to do all this stuff that you can then put it in writing as well. But remember that you have an audience that will either learn from video, learn from audio, or even learn through reading, right? And so you want to make sure you provide all three different versions. That way, again, you're attracting more people, a bigger audience to you because you're providing them in several different ways.
I love that. So where would you suggest then using a repurposed, like if they take a transcript and make it into an article or a blog or
Yeah.
social post, but where would you suggest sharing the written part of their content?
Oh my God, so you can put it on your website, you can turn it into a blog, an article, put it on LinkedIn, you can put it on Facebook. Like you can put, like, if you're going to put the video on Facebook, there's no reason why you can't put a written version on there like a few days later, right? Because it's going to attract different people. And so you can put it in the same places. You can even, I'm sure there's different sites as well that you can put it on as a writer or a blogger. There was one that I had that I was publishing on, and I can't in the life of me remember where that was, but it was doing so well, and that I was even monetizing from the written version of my podcast, and I was having an income stream of like £1,000 come into my account just through the written version on this specific platform. And when I remember, oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to let you know.
Okay, well, we're all in suspense, but you have to let us know. Okay, so what I'm hearing is that this is beautiful multitasker doing video podcasts that can then be turned into editorial content is a really beautiful multitasker.
Yes, absolutely. If you are wanting to talk about some of your episodes to a journalist and get it into magazines, right? Like you want to pick one, I guess, episode that really kind of hit it off where you got a lot of people talking about it, viewing it, watching it, listening to it, and using that as a transcript to then have articles in magazines as well, right? Because when people read it, if people loved it already, you know, well, people that listened to it and watched it loved it, and you're getting a lot of great feedback from it. People that read it in written form are also going to love the content as well, right? It's just going to a different audience of how they actually retain that information.
Yeah, fantastic. So anybody who's listening who is not that techie is possibly thinking, I could not cope with that amount of, technology. But I know you have a really beautiful new membership open to accompany people to grow their podcast, don't you?
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. So I love this membership. And the reason why I started this membership was because of the networking aspect that it has to it, right? And so there's been so many different platforms out there where, you know what, you can get booked on podcasts and you have podcasters on there and all of that. But one of the biggest thing that's missing is a community, is the networking, getting to know people. And when you get to know people, this is where you automatically start getting booked on podcasts from other podcasters in the community as well. And we have a mixture of people that are newbies that have been doing podcasting for years. And so there is so much support in this membership, as well as the camaraderie and the conversation that we have and the messages that get sent in the community WhatsApp group and all of that kind of stuff. And what I find is that when you're around like-minded people, when you're around people that are there to support, give you value, all of a sudden that kind of, oh my goodness, like starting a podcast is huge. I have no idea how I'm going to do it. It's too much work. It becomes simpler. Becomes so much more simple because you're rubbing shoulders with people that are already doing it on that journey, have been doing it for years, and is a I can do this. And we have so many more people just in that community that say, oh, I'm launching my podcast, because all of a sudden it's not that much of a bigger job, especially when you're around the right people.
Love it. So it is early 2026 and you are expanding your gorgeous universe into an event. In fact, not just an event, but events. So
Yeah.
talk to us about this fabulous new event, which is called The Edge, that had me signing up practically the minute the email dropped into my inbox.
All right, so because I think I'm not doing enough, we've incorporated live events and it's called The Edge, and I'm co-hosting it with Gina Trick as well. And the reason why we're doing this is, first of all, in order to kind of stand out from a crowded market, you've got to be edgy, you've got to be different, you've got to be unique, and you've got to be yourself. I'm finding that a lot of people are trying to be other people or feel like they need to be perceived as someone else rather than themselves. And we're like, no, because now you're just blending in and just sound exactly like everybody else. Like, we need to bring out your weird, right? Bring out your weird and put that in the forefront of your marketing, because that's what's going to attract the right people to you. And so the edge is getting a group of curated people in one room. And me and Gina have specifically got certain people in the room. We've actually said no to a lot of people as well. We said no to a lot of sponsors, speakers, and ticket holders because we didn't feel like we were aligned with specific people, and we had to be aligned. And me and Gina were like, listen, we both got to agree to have certain people in this room. If one of us said no, then that person wouldn't be in that room, right? So it has been curated with the right people from all different backgrounds, and it's being inclusive, it's being diverse, and it's having fun. And it's not going to be the type of event where you just sit there and just listen to a bunch of speakers. There's going to be speakers there for sure. It's going to be entertaining, and we've got loads of games and quizzes. Like, we're gamifying the entire event. From the time you step in at the registration table, there's going to be games. So be prepared. And we've decided that we're going to go bigger. We're going to do more events. So this event decided it was going to be, originally it was going to be a one-off, Jenny. It was going to be a one-off, right? Because we've all got our businesses. We've both got our businesses to deal with as well. And it just got bigger and bigger and bigger as people heard about it. And now there's a whole community backing it. And so we were like, right, this has got bigger. Let's do more events. So not only do we have an event on the 23rd of April in London, but we've got another one that's going to be coming out in Newcastle in October as well, and which we're really excited about. And yeah, we are looking for speakers and sponsors for Newcastle as well. And we've got one next year in London too, but there's going to be more information on that soon.
Well, I absolutely can't wait for this event. It's The Edge. Who wouldn't want, what's not to love of an event called The Edge? And wishing you so much, you both, so much success for the future of the Edge event and everything it brings, because I think it's a real upturn in marketing in the UK, which we said needed a little bit of a shake up earlier on. So I shall report back. In the meantime, I will share all the links in the show notes, and there are just a few tickets left, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, less than 20 tickets left. We actually sold out coming into 2026, and we had to add more tickets, and even they're going, and so we've got less than 20 tickets left. So guys, if you want to purchase and be at the April event, definitely go ahead and take a look. I'm at the link. It is ginatrick.com/the and then -edge. But the links will be in the show notes, I'm sure. Go and check it out. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out as well.
So thank you so much, and to come on and talk about podcasting and the future of podcasting. I'm excited about the future of podcasting now, and everything that people can do, and making it accessible to everybody. I can't wait to meet you in London. So there will certainly be more collaborations happening. And yes, onwards and upwards.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I had an absolute blast.
Lights down. That's a wrap on today's Brand Runway collection. I hope you're filled with inspiration to step into your spotlight and claim your place as the sought after and fully booked up changemaker you're meant to be. Remember, your gifts and the value you bring to the world are pure gold. They deserve the perfect showcase. For all the tools and resources we discussed today, including the latest edition of Brand Runway magazine and how to take the next step, your VIP access awaits in the show notes below. This is your moment to shine brilliantly. And until our next showing, this is Jenny Parker Brown reminding you that every day is your runway. Bye-bye.